There's no one else, no supermarket, no hypermarket where you can go and buy your family from. These are gifts that Paramatma has given us. This is his insignia. Of course, when we get the materialistic stuff like a car or a home, or we might get some nice food, or we might get some gifts, we always say thank you, don't we? We always say thank you to someone who gives us a gift. When I see my family and I see the Sangat and I see my brothers and sisters, Shukranna, Dhanavad, Guru Sahib Ji da lakh Shukranna. And when Maharaj gives us these data and these gifts that we often take for granted, these are the data that are invaluable. And these are the data, these are the gifts that, people suffer over. Tarastaya, okay, they want Sangat. There's people out there who are crying out for Sangat and they don't often get it and they don't find it. For whatever the reason that might be. We're so lucky that we have this Sangat. For evi Shukranna. What is Shukranna? Gratitude, gratefulness. Rabda Harek Vari Shukranna. Always be grateful to Maharaj. Sri Vaheguru Ji Sahib Jio. Ik Oankar Satnam Karta Purkh Nirpau Nirvair Akal Murat Ajuni Saibhang Gur Prasad Jap Aad Sach Jugad Sach है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभौ निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभौ निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभौ निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभौ निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच वाहेगुरु 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 सतनाम श्री वाहेगुरु जी एक मन पुरख त्याय बरदाता संत सहार सदा बिख्याता तास चरण लै हृदय बसावो तो परम गुरु नानक गुण गावो सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु जी टंडोत बंधन अनक बार सर्ब कला समरथ डोलन ते राखो प्रभु ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਹੱਥ ਗਿਆਨ ਧਿਆਨ ਕਿਛ ਕਰਮ ਨ ਜਾਣਾ ਸਾਰ ਨ ਜਾਣਾ ਤੇਰੀ ਸਭ ਤੇ ਵੱਡਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਨਾਨਕ ਜਿਨ ਕਲ ਰਾਖੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਸਭ ਤੇ ਵੱਡਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਨਾਨਕ ਜਿਨ ਕਲ ਰਾਖੀ ਮੇਰੀ।
ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ। ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ ਤਾਣ ਹੋਵੈ ਕਿਸੈ ਤਾਣ ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ ਦਾਤ ਜਾਣੈ ਨੀਸਾਨ ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ ਗੁਣ ਵਡਿਆਈਆਂ ਚਾਰ ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ ਵਿਦਿਆ ਵਿਖਮ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ ਸਾਜ ਕਰੇ ਤਨ ਖੇਹ ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ ਜੀ ਲੈ ਫਿਰ ਦੇਹ ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ ਜਾਪੈ ਦਿਸੈ ਦੂਰ ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ ਵੇਖੈ ਹਾਦਰਾ ਹਦੂਰ ਕਥਨਾ ਕਥੀ ਨ ਆਵੈ ਤੋਟ ਕਥ ਕਥ ਕਥੀ ਕੋਟੀ ਕੋਟ ਕੋਟ ਦੇਂਦਾ ਦੇ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਥੱਕ ਪਾਹੇ ਜੁਗਾ ਜੁਗੰਤਰ ਖਾਹੀ ਖਾਹੇ ਹੁਕਮੀ ਹੁਕਮ ਚਲਾਏ ਰਾਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਵਿਗਸੈ ਵੇ ਪਰਵਾਹੋ ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ ਤਾਣ ਹੋਵੈ ਕਿਸੈ ਤਾਣ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਨਾਜ਼ਰ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਠੀ ਹੋਈ ਪਿਆਰੀ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀਓ, ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਲੱਖ ਲੱਖ ਸ਼ੁਕਰਾਨਾ ਹੈ, ਕੋਟਾਨ ਕੋਟ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਓਟ ਆਸਰੇ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਸਦਕਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਭ ਰਲ ਕੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਹਾਂ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। We're so fortunate, we're so lucky again to be in Guru Sahib Ji's Darbar today, this evening, to be able to come into Sangat and listen to Paat, listen to Kirtan, listen to Simran, listen to the Katha of Akal Purukh Vaheguru Ji, and listen to the Katha of Sri Japji Sahib Ji da Paat. Sad Sangat Ji, do not think that this is just by our own doing that we're here this evening, Sad Sangat Ji. Every time we come to the Gurudwara, Vaheguru Ji da Shukrana. Lakh lakh ਧੰਨਵਾਦ Guru Sahib Ji da kirpa ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ. They've blessed us to be able to come into this Sangat and be in their Darbar. Sad Sangat Ji, last week we looked at the second pauri of Sri Japji Sahib da Paat, where we explored Hukam. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj explains to us about Hukam in this second pauri, about how Hukam cannot be described. And through Paramatma's Hukam, through Vaheguru Ji's Hukam, the whole of the Akar, the universe, everything that, not just that we see, but everything that exists within what we know as creation was created by Maharaj's Hukam. And through their Hukam, we are given life. And through their Hukam, we are given choices. We have a preordained destiny. We explored this last week. And we have choices in life that we can make. And those choices define whether we are, in Maharaj's eyes, Uttam or Neech. Whether we get Dukh or we get Sukh. This is all within the play of our Karma. And Maharaj continues to explain about Hukam in this pauri, which we explored. Now in the third pauri, the Siddhs are asking Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. Remember, Guru Nanak Dev Ji is having this conversation with the Siddhs on the Sumer Parbat, on the Sumer mountain. And the Siddhs are asking Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, saying, Guru Sahib Ji, if you can't explain about the command and you can't go into that depth of the command, it's so hard to explain. How does Paramatma work? Tell me about Paramatma's power. Tell us about how strong God is. And Sad Sangat Ji, this is, you can relate to this a little bit because, for example, if you want to know how strong somebody is, even today in our community or your friend circles, and they go to the gym, and you might say to them, how much do you deadlift, Hannah? You might, just to get a gauge of how strong somebody is, you might say, how much do you squat? What's your bench press like? You get an idea, depending upon what answer they give you, to get an idea, okay, how strong that person is. And the Siddhs are asking Guru Sahib Ji, okay, how strong is Paramatma? In a way that they could gauge to say, okay, haan Paramatma, inna baliya, they have that much power. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj explains, ke Gaavai ko taann, hovai kisai taann. Gaavai ko. Satsangat Ji, before we go into the depths of this Pauri, Gaavai ko can be seen in two different translations. We're going to explore both of them. Ko could mean who. Go can also mean some. So right now we'll go through this Pauri with the view that go means who. So when you look at the translations now, the projector might have them a bit wrong, but I won't say wrong, but slightly different to the translation we're going to do first. Gaavai ko, who can sing? Yeah, that's what we're going to explore. Who can sing? So the Siddhs are asking Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, okay, who can tell us about the power of Paramatma? And Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Gaavai ko taann. Taann means power. Who can sing about the power of Paramatma? Who can actually sing about this great power of this divine being? Gaavai ko taann, hovai kisai taann. If they themselves haven't got that power, if they themselves don't have that understanding about how powerful Paramatma is, who can sing about that power? Satsangat Ji in Gurbani, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj explained to us, Kinme thap uthapan hara. Kinme, in an instant, Maharaj says, thap uthapan hara. They can create and destroy in an instant. That's the power of Paramatma. Haran bharan jaka netar for. Haran bharan, create and destroy. Jaka netar for, within a blink of an eye. That's the kind of power we're talking about. But who can sing of that power who doesn't know of that power? Gaavai ko taann, who can sing? Hovai kisai taann. This is what Guru Nanak Dev Ji is explaining to the Siddhs. Hanji.
Gaavai ko daat, jaanai nisaan.
So when we're saying Gaavai ko, Gaavai, khyaal rakhna Satsangat Ji, pay focus to this, that Gaavai has dolav. So it's not Gaavai, because sometimes we can slack whilst we're doing part, we might say Gaavai ko, but it's Gaavai. So if you're doing Santya, this is hopefully will remind us all, when we're doing our part, we say Gaavai. So Maharaj is saying, Gaavai ko daat jaanai nisaan. The Siddhs are asking Guru Nanak Dev Ji, okay, if you can't tell us about the power of Paramatma, tell us about what gifts does he give us? What does he do for us? Maharaj says, Gaavai ko daat. Who can sing about the gifts that Paramatma gives us? Gaavai ko daat, jaanai nisaan. Who can even recognize the nishanya, the insignia, the signs of what Paramatma gives us? Who is able to sing of that? And this is why Guru Sahib Ji is saying this, is because in our lives today, just bringing this to everyday life, how often do we think about, Maharaj, what are your gifts? When do we ever think about those gifts that Maharaj ever gives us? I'm thinking about like our body. Last week we spoke about how the vidiaa, the greatness of Paramatma, is that they've actually given us this life, this taann, this body. At what point do we ever say, Maharaj, thoda shukrana, ki tusi haath ditte hai, you've given me a pair of hands, you've given me feet, I can walk, I can move. These are the data we can breathe. These are the data that we often take for granted, the gifts that we can even wake up on a morning and have a breath. Of course, the data of the world are there for us as well. We can turn a tap, and we're lucky that in this country we get hot water, we get cold water. We're lucky we can open our fridge and we've got food. Maharaj is saying, who can sing of all of those gifts? Individually, each of us can say, Maharaj, thoda shukrana, you've given me a house, you've given me a roof over my head, you've given me clothes to wear, you've given me food, you've given me sangat. Even this is a gift. But if each and every one of us, 8 billion people on the world, started to count all of those gifts that we've been given, and then we think about all the species in the world, all the animals, all the janwar, all the different insects, from the ants all the way to the fish that are in the sea that are uncounted for through science. If you look at all the trees and the vegetation, all of those are beings that Paramatma has created on this planet. And then what about all the other planets? Who can count about all of those gifts that Paramatma has given anybody? Guru Sahib Ji, this is why they say, Gaavai ko daat, jee-a nisaan. How can we sing about that? Maharaj is explaining this to the Siddhs. Hanji.
ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ ਗੁਣ ਵਡਿਆਈਆਂ ਚਾਰ.
So in the previous 2 panktiyan, the Vishram, the pause, came on the 3rd word. So Gaavai ko gun. This is in this 3rd line, the pause comes on the 2nd word. Gaavai ko. Now it's a pause. Gun vadiyayan char. So Maharaj is saying here, who can sing? Who can Gaavai ko? Who can sing about the great virtues, the beautiful glories of Paramatma? Who can sing about how powerful Paramatma is and how their virtues are, how great they are, and the great things that they do? Maharaj is merciful. They forgive sinners, they're patat pavan. They make sinners into great people. They look after their bhagats, bhagat vashal. Maharaj is mehervan, they're merciful, they help us in everything that we do. Maharaj di Gurbani vich aunਦੀ ਪੰਕਤੀ ਹੈ, ਅਕਿਰਤ ਕਣਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਾਲਦਾ. Akirtkan are people who are not grateful. Maharaj describes them in Gurbani, Akirtkana. Maharaj saying that even though some grateful people, Maharaj will look after them too. Prabhu Nanak Sad Baksind. Baksind means they're forever forgiving. How are we going to count those virtues? Who can sing about those virtues of Paramatma? Gaavai ko gun vadiyayan char. They're beautiful virtues. Who can even sing about them? Hanji.
ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ ਵਿਦਿਆ ਵਿਖਮ ਵਿਚਾਰ.
Gaavai ko. Who can sing about the vidya, the wisdom? Vikam means hard, a very hard wisdom. And vichar. Vichar we often translate to being contemplate and discuss. Vichar karna. But here, in some translations, vichar means philosophy, intellectualism, being clever in arts, being clever in other very difficult concepts of philosophy and what Maharaj is teaching us. Guru Sahib Ji is saying to us, who can sing about that knowledge that is so hard? And, philosophers look at that philosophy and try to understand the depths of that knowledge. Who can sing about that greatness of that wisdom of that one who's not just created this human body and engineered it in such a way that even today, we can't understand how this fully works? How are we going to explain and sing about that wisdom? Who can sing about that? Maharaj explains to the Siddhs that there's some philosophies, so there's some things that, what we call Brahm Gyan, that is what we know, but how has Paramatma even made the universe? How do those spiritual planes of existence work? Jithe Shaheed Singh rende, where those spiritual angels live. How does all that work? Who can explain that wisdom? Maharaj is explaining this to the Siddhs. Hanji.
ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ ਸਾਜ ਕਰੇ ਤਨ ਖੇਹ.
Gaavai ko saaj kare tan kheh. Maharaj is saying here, who can sing about that one's greatness, who can make a body, saaj kare, who can actually fashion a body, who can create a body, be it a human body in the womb of a mother or of an animal. How can we sing about that power of the one who can create a body, let it live a life, and then that body just goes back into the elements of the earth and the 5 elements of the universe? The Panch Tat that Gurbani talks about: water, ether, air, earth, fire, those 5 elements. So how do we relate to this? Maharaj is saying to us that who can sing about the greatness, about that one when they create a child? A body is formed, we have a child, we're all children of God. But then at one point we know we're going to die. and this body is going to then get cremated, and all those elements are going to go back into nature. How can we sing about the one who has the power to create and then destroy like this? Hanji.
ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ ਜੀਅ ਲੈ ਫਿਰ ਦੇਹ.
Very similar. Who can sing about the power of the one who can take the soul, the jee-a, the jeev, the soul, or the atma of a being, be it a human being or be it an animal or whatever it might be that's been created, can take that atma, that jee-a, le, fir, de, then actually puts it somewhere, places it somewhere, puts it into another body, put it into another being. How does that even work? Who can sing about that power? Guru Nanak Dev Ji explaining to the Siddhs, Hanji.
ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ jaapai disai dur.
Maharaj explains ke Gaavai ko jaapai disai dur. Maharaj explained, who can sing about the one when they see, the people who might see that Paramatma is so distant, so vast. Paramatma disai dur, that he's just, see, when you see that person, when you see Paramatma, you just see the vastness of Paramatma. Who can sing about that one who is so vast and great? Hanji.
ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ vidyā hadra hadur.
Who can sing about that one who is, when you look at that one, you realize that he's hadra, he's face to face, he's right there with you, omnipresent, ever present there. Hadra hadur, he's just there. Like we've said before as well in the Katha, Guru Sahib Ji is Hazar Nazar. Paramatma is here right now. Paramatma, God is here right now because God exists within all of us and right now in this room. How do we even contemplate that? How do we even sing about that? Who can sing about that greatness that Paramatma is right here, right now? Not maybe as far away as we might think. They're right here, right now. Hanji.
Kathanaa kathee na avai tott.
So at this point, Sadh Sangat Ji, when we recite this Pankti, we've come to the end of the Gaavai ko Panktiyan in this Pauri. Like I said at the beginning, at this Pankti, when we look at Gaavai ko, we can translate it to who can sing. The next translation we're going to look at here is not just who can sing, but some who sing about this. So we're going to go right back to the beginning of this Pauri, and we're going to look at right at the beginning and look at the translations again from Gaavai ko taann, avai kise taann, and see what that really means when we look at the translation slightly differently. Hanji.
Gaavai ko taann, avai kise taann.
So Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj can explain to us now with this viewpoint that there's some people who sing about Paramatma's power. And when they sing about Paramatma's power, they actually are able to understand that power. They gain that power. And that depends upon the level of that power they have. They can sing at that level as well. And when we're talking about Gaavai, naturally we think Gaavai, Punjabi word, singing. But Gaavai can also mean how you're emanating that power, how you feel about that power. It's your being. It's how you are. You know, when people can say you can praise Paramatma just by walking around, you can say Paramatma, Vah, you've made this, you created this, or you created this instance. Or you might experience something, you might feel something. You say, Paramatma, thoda shukar, I just felt that compassion. Or someone's done something really nice for you. And you can be in praise in that moment. That's singing. Your body can sing. But for the simplicity of this body, we'll just assume that Gaavai means singing. But it can be how you emanate that energy and how you feel as well. And your realization of these different Pankti of Paramatma existing. So Gaavai ko taann, some people can sing of that power of that one. Some people who can sing of that power experience that power. And based upon their experience of that power, they can sing of that power. It's almost like a ladder. The more you sing and the more you feel that power, the more you can sing about that power. Maharaj is explaining this to us. When we look at this a bit further, Sadh Sangat Ji, we can also explore that this power kiya, And when we start thinking about this power, we start singing, we do kirtan or we listen to kirtan. And kirtan, don't be mistaken, it's not just ke apan baja karke baja bajana. You could be turde firde singing kirtan. You could find a shabad from Gurbani and sing that shabad or feel that shabad. And it's your connection, it's your emotion, it's your feeling. And as you feel that, we then go on a bit of a journey. And this Pauri, I certainly see it personally as almost like a journey of understanding that if we're singing that about that power of the one, agge ki hunda, hanji.
Gaavai ko daat, jaapai nisaan.
Some people sing about the gifts of Paramatma. When we sing about those gifts of Paramatma, we see them agge odi nishaniya. That's the nishan, a sign of Paramatma. They've given me this thing, this gift, whatever that might be. Now, the obvious thing that we might think of is our children or our family. Yeah? Because these are the things that you can't go and buy from a shop. Can't go to Tesco and buy a kid, right? It just doesn't happen. These are things that can only Paramatma can give us. There's no one else, nothing else, no supermarket, no hypermarket where you can go and buy your family from. These are gifts that Paramatma has given us. This is His insignia, His nishan. And when we see those gifts that Paramatma has given us, be it our children, be it our family, be it our spouse, our partners, be it our mother and father, be it our siblings, whatever we might see around us. Of course, when we get the materialistic stuff like a gaddi or a car or a home, or we might get some nice food or we might get some gifts, we always say thank you, don't we? We always say thank you to someone who gives us a gift. When I see my family and I see the Sangat and I see my brothers and sisters, Shukrana, Tanavad, Guru Sahib Ji da Tanavad, Guru Sahib Ji da lakh Shukrana. That's what makes me feel about when I see these bhaktiyan, about Gaavai ko daat, jaapai nisaan. When Maharaj gives us these data, these gifts that we often take for granted, these are the data that are invaluable. And these are the data, these are the gifts that, people, suffer over. They tarastaya. Okay, they want Sangat. There's people out there who are crying out for Sangat and they don't often get it and they don't find it. For whatever the reason that might be. We're so lucky that we have this Sangat. For every Shukrana. What is Shukrana? Gratitude. Gratefulness. Rabda harek vari Shukrana. Always be grateful to Maharaj. Because Maharaj has given us these abilities. Maharaj has given us not just our breath, they've given us everything that we have in life. And how grateful we can be. Gyani Kulwant Singh Ji describes this like a path in their Katha. They describe Shukrana as almost like a path in Sakhi. Okay, we can only go on this path if we are able to do that Shukrana of Paramatma of Guru Sahib. So these data that we get from Paramatma, some of us can sing about them because we recognize these gifts. And Guru Sahib Ji is indicating this to us that these are from Paramatma and those are His nishani. Hanji.
Gaavai ko gun vidiaa char.
Some sing of those gun, those virtues, the great virtues of Paramatma that are so beautiful. Now, we know, like we said before, these virtues are like Maharaj being merciful, they're being forgiving, they're always providing and helping people. But there are also things like godly qualities that sometimes we can relate to when we read about Paramatma's gun. What gun do we want to try and hold within ourselves and learn? Things like compassion, dayh, dharam, righteousness, knowing what's right and wrong, sat, truthfulness, santokh, contentment. These are godly qualities. And when we think about how we can relate to this bhakti, we think maybe whenever we feel that bit of compassion, that bit of hamdardi, we feel a bit of nimarta, we have that within our hearts. Whenever we feel these godly qualities within our life about dayh and dharam, that's almost like this Pauri, this bhakti, saying that Maharaj is manifesting themselves in our heart, in our emotions in that way. Gaavai ko gun vadiyaiyan char, eh odi vadiyaiyan. These are his great gifts, but we can experience them through our life. Hanji.
ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ ਵਿਦਿਆ ਵਿਖਮ ਵਿਚਾਰ
Some people can sing about some of these very hard, knowledgeable items, philosophies that are so hard to sometimes understand. And I relate to this, like last week we spoke about the 3 different types of gunn. And it's not a particularly hard philosophy, but as we're learning, certainly as I'm learning, it's something that's hard to grasp until you get really accustomed to it, about how you have sanchit karam, you have paralabad karam, and you have giryaman karam. And this is a relatively easy philosophy, but as we're learning, we might think it's hard. And this is how this bhakti can relate to that we can sing, we can emanate that, we can be grateful to that opportunity that actually we've learned something quite difficult today. We've learned a very hard philosophy today. And we're on this journey to learn, but there's so many harder philosophies and complicated things to learn. But some people who are learning about those, they sing about those because they feel so happy that they've conquered that hard topic and they've mastered it, and they can move on to the next one. Hanji.
ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ ਸਾਜ ਕਰੇ ਤਨ ਖੇਹ
So Sad Sangat Ji, Gaavai ko saaj kare tan kheh. Now, some sing of Paramatma, the power of Paramatma being able to create a body and then turn it to dust. And I'm going to share a very real life experience that I've just recently had, which relates directly to his bhakti. And this is Guru Sahib Ji's kirpa, you could say, that we're actually doing this katha, and I'm researching, we're studying this, and I'm sharing whatever I'm learning. And this has actually just happened in my personal life right now, where just a week ago, I was able to witness a funeral and see, someone very close to the family, an elderly person, who had passed away, and see them going through the whole funeral process from from washing the body, and then actually going to the Gurdwara Sahib, and then, going to the crematorium and going through that whole process, seeing a body just turn into khe, into dust, into a handful of dust. And then only to yesterday hear the news that my cousin, they're expecting a child. And going within a week of seeing Paramatma work their greatness, of seeing someone turn to a pile of dust, and then so soon seeing that Maharaj is sending a new body into this earth. This is the power of Paramatma, that this happens in life. This is, personal to me, but sharing it with you, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that, where this happens just life. This is nature. This is Paramatma's will. This is God's will. Eda Hukam hai. Eda hunda renda hai. People come and people go. This is his Mauj. So this bhakti, Maharaj is saying, some sing about how Paramatma can create that body, can create that form, and then turn it to dust within a blink of an eye. Hanji.
ਗਾਵੈ ਕੋ ਜੀਅ ਲੈ ਫਿਰ ਦੇਹ
Gaavai ko jee le fir dayh. How Paramatma can, some sing of how great that Paramatma is, who can take a soul and just put a soul in another place. Just like I've explained, they can take away that life and put that life into another being, another bodily form. Satsang Ji, there's Sakhi about Bhai Aadam Ji, which I'd like to share, because it relates to family and child. And Bhai Aadam Ji was a Gursikh at the time of Sri Guru Ramdas Ji. Before they met Sri Guru Ramdas Ji, Bhai Aadam Ji and their wife were married for many, many years. And Bhai Aadam Ji and their wife hadn't had a child. And they did a lot of seva of many saintly people, many sadhus, many sants, many people. And they always did this seva in the wish that Maharaj Paramatma would answer their prayer and their plea for a child. One day they got an opportunity to do the seva of a Sikh of Sri Guru Ramdas Ji. And they served the Sikh prashadda, they served him food. And the Sikh was so happy, he did this ardas benti, that Maharaj, please bless this couple with whatever they wish for. And this couple, Bhai Aadam Ji and their wife, explained to this Sikh that, they've been married for so long, they're getting old, and they really pray for a child, pray for a family. This Guru Sikh explained to them, actually, you know what you should do is go to the house of Sri Guru Ramdas Ji. Sri Guru Ramdas Ji are the Guru on this earth right now. They can make your wish come true. Go and see them. So Bhai Aadam Ji went to Sri Guru Ramdas Ji, both Bhai Aadam Ji and their wife, they went. And they met Sri Guru Ramdas Ji. And when they met Sri Guru Ramdas Ji, they got involved in the seva of the Gurdwara Sahib. They would collect wood. Bhai Aadam Ji would go every day and collect wood. And they'd make 2 piles of the wood. One pile would be given to the langar, for the rasoi khana, for the kitchen, to be able to light the fire, to make the langar. And one pile they would keep for themselves. They'd keep it at home for whatever they needed to do. They did this seva for many weeks and many months. There came a time, Sad Sangat Ji, where there was so much rain, that all the wood that was in the langar hall, in the rasoi khana, was just wet. And all the sangat, all their wood was all wet as well. And it couldn't be used to create a fire. But Bhai Aadam Ji's wood that he had at home, his stock, his pile of wood, was nice and dry. He had protected his wood. It didn't get affected by the rain. So Bhai Aadam Ji, out of the love in his heart and the Nishkam Seva, we talked about Nishkam last week, about selfless Seva. Out of that seva, out of the love of his heart, he got his pile of wood and he distributed it within the sangat, whoever needed that wood to create a fire, and he gave it to the langar, to the rasoi khana, to the kitchen area, to the langar, where they were going to make it so that they could make the food, make the langar, and bring it to the sangat. Sad Sangat Ji, when Guru Ramdas Ji heard about this Nishkam Seva, Sri Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj called for Bhai Aadam Ji. Bhai Aadam Ji came to Sri Guru Ramdas Ji, put their hands together and said, Guru Sahib Ji, daso, ki hukam? What command do you have for me today? And Guru Ramdas Ji said, Bhai Aadam Ji, I've heard that you've been doing this seva where you've given dry wood in this rainy season and you're helping the langar, helping the rasoi khana, helping people by letting them light the fire using the dry wood that you've collected. That seva is a great seva that you've done. It's a great, great seva. It's come from the love of your heart. Ask for whatever you want to ask for. Your wish is going to come true. Whatever you want, ask. Bhai Aadam Ji put his hands together. And Bhai Aadam Ji felt a little bit embarrassed asking for a child because he was quite elderly now. He was quite old. So he said, Guru Sahib Ji, bas naam di data baksho. Just bless me with naam. Bless me with your vision. Just bless me that I can be in your sangat. And Sri Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj said, Ota hai, you've got that. Maharaj, you'll have that. Don't worry. God will bless you with that. You've got that. Don't worry. Tell me, what else do you want? And Bhai Aadam Ji just stood there with his head beckoned low in a humble pose, saying, Guru Sahib Ji, that's it. That's all I want. It's just your darshan. Just naam di daat. Guru Ramdas Ji asked him 3 times, and every time Bhai Aadam's response was in complete humility. That's all he wanted. He didn't have, I don't want to say the word courage, he just felt embarrassed to ask for a child because he thought, well, what is the sangat going to think? He's so elderly and he's asking for a child. Guru Ramdas Ji said, Chal theek hai, don't worry, come back tomorrow morning with your wife as well, and then chalo dekhte. So he went home, Bhai Aadam Ji, and he explained to his wife, okay, this is what's happened. And Guru Ramdas Ji has asked whatever we wanted, and I just couldn't say those words. And his wife said, Chalo, don't worry, apan kalu swenu, we'll go in the morning and let's see what Guru Ramdas Ji says then. So in the morning, both Bhai Aadam Ji and their wife, they went to see Guru Ramdas Ji. And when they went to see Guru Ramdas Ji, they stood there. And Guru Ramdas Ji kende ki doso, tell me now, what do you really want? And Guru Ramdas Ji is antarjami, right? Guru Ramdas Ji, Guru Sahib Ji know the deeper thoughts of all of our hearts. There's no hiding from Guru Sahib Ji. There's no hiding at all. They're right close to us. Gaavai ko vaykhay, hadra hadur. We've just said that pankti. That Maharaj is there, right in front of us. They're antarjami. And Bhai Aadam Ji stood there, and Guru Ramdas Ji says, Kiddo, so what would you like? And Bhai Aadam Ji's wife, unhone choli adke khade hoye, and they said, Guru Sahib Ji, please bless us with a child. Please bless us with a child, because we've been married for so long. We haven't had that opportunity to have a child, have a family. Please bless us. So Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj, our history writes, Guru Ramdas Ji closed their eyes and they thought for a little bit. Guru Ramdas Ji opened their eyes and they explained, said, Bhai Aadam Ji, in your life, you actually haven't got a child. It's not in your preordained destiny. Remember last week we spoke about Karam, Paralabad Karam, Sanchit Karam, and how Paramatma sends us with kind of predefined key major events in our life. The Baki that time is our choice about what we're going to do. In Bhai Aadam Ji's life, there was no child that was written. And Guru Ramdas Ji explained that to Bhai Aadam Ji. But they said that in my life, Guru Ramdas Ji is saying, in my life, I've been preordained to have 4 children. One of them children I'm going to bless to you. One of those children I'm going to give to you. So what you need to do is whenever that child is born, you name that child Bhagatu. And just like Guru Ramdas Ji had blessed them, a few months later Bhai Aadam Ji and their wife had a child. It was a son that Guru Ramdas Ji had blessed them with. And that child was then named Bhagatu. And Bhai Bhagatu became a very, very great Guru Sikh in our history over time. He served the Gurus from Guru Arjan Dev Ji onwards. So this Satsanga Ji explains to us and shows us that how Guru Sahib Ji, Vaheguru Paramatma are so great that they can create this body, jee-a, fir de, they can give a soul and take a soul. Odi marzi hai. Sada farz kiya. What do we need to do? Hath jod ke ardas. The power of ardas, Satsanga Ji, is so magnificent. We can do the ardas. And Guru Sahib Ji, je prasann hoye, based upon our karam, if they're happy, they can bless us with anything. Hanji.
Gaavai ko jaapai disa dur.
Some sing, Maharaj says, some sing of how Paramatma is so far away. And we've just said that Paramatma is right here, right now. And when I think about this Bhakti, when I've listened to other kathas and I've heard from writings from other scholars, some might say that actually this is someone starting their journey in Sakhi or spirituality. They're only starting their journey because they think that God is so far away, or they are so far away from reaching God. Not understanding, not realizing that actually Paramatma is so close and within us. We just need to go on a journey of going inwards, not outwardly. Hanji.
Gaavai ko vaykhay hadrah dur.
Some sing about how close Paramatma is. Some sing about how Paramatma is ever present. That Paramatma isn't far away at all. Paramatma, Vaheguru Ji, is right here, right now. Hanji.
Kathanaa kathee na avai tott.
So this Satsanga Ji, we've come to the end of the 2 different translations. And in this Bhakti, Guru Sahib Ji is explaining to the Siddhs that Kathanaa kathee na avai tott. Kathanaa, katha karni, the discourse, the eulogy of Paramatma. Kathanaa kathee na avai tott. Tott means shortage, or Punjabi che pageda kami. There's no shortage of people who've tried to do the katha, the eulogy, the discourse of God, to try and explain about greatness of God. There's absolutely no shortage of that. Hanji.
Kath kathee koti kot kot.
Kot is a word that comes from the word Garor. Garor means 10 million. So Maharaj is saying here that Kathanaa kathee, Vaheguru katha kathee, that there's so many people, so many discourses, so many kathavachiks, so many sermons, eulogies, millions upon millions of people have tried to explain about God and do their katha, their discourse of God, but none of them are complete because there's so many of them. And this has been going on for so long. Bhagat Kabir Ji have a slogan in Gurbani, and it's such a beautiful way of explaining the vastness of Paramatma. Bhagat Kabir Ji, they write that imagine for a moment if you can get all of the water in the whole world, all the water in all the seas, and you turn that water into ink. Beligaleya, ink. You make all that water into ink. Then you get all the trees from all the forests and all the woods across the whole planet, and you turn all of that wood into a pen, into a qalam. And then you get all the land, all the earth, and you turn all of that land into a piece of paper. Even then, with all of that ink, with that huge magnificent pen, and with all of that paper of the earth, even then you couldn't write the praise of Paramatma. Even then you couldn't write about how great God is. Bhagat Kabir Ji writes, Kabir, saat samunde mas karo, kalam karo ban raye, basada kagad jo karo. Maharaj says that har jas likhan na jaye. Even then you can't write about the praise of Paramatma. So how vast must that be? So this is how this Pankti Guru Sahib Ji is explaining to us. Odi katha karan wale. There's been so many of them. None of them have been able to complete that katha. Hanji.
Daydaa de lande thak paa-eh.
Daydaa de. This is a bit more easier in Punjabi to understand. Daydaa de lande thak paa-eh. Maharaj is saying that to the Siddhs that Paramatma, Daydaa de, he just keeps on giving and giving and giving. Lande thak paa-eh. And the ones who keep on taking, oh thak jande ne. They get tired because they keep on taking. He keeps on giving, and let's say us as people, as humans, we just keep on taking. And this is the greatness of Paramatma. He will keep on giving to us all the time. At what point have we stopped and we thought and we said, Paramatma, Guru Sahib Ji, Vaheguru Ji, Thoda shukrana, Thoda lakh lakh shukrana. Thank you for giving me everything that you've given me in life. Thank you for allowing me to wake up in the morning and even breathe. Thank you for allowing me to wake up in the morning and turning on the shower and having an ishnan. Actually, thank you, Guru Sahib Ji, for giving me the breath to be able to sit down and even do your Simran and even do your Nitnem as much as I can. Guru Sahib Ji, thank you for even giving me that opportunity. This is Daydaa de, lende thak paa-eh. Asi thak jana, we're going to get tired. Our life is just going to keep on going and going and going. Well, and that's fine. That's okay. That's not a bad thing. I'm not saying these things for us to make us feel guilty. Guru Sahib Ji is explaining this to us to bring a sense of gratitude into our life. Because through that gratitude, that is our rasta. That is our path to get closer to Paramatma. To say, Maharaj, thoda shukrana. Lakh lakh shukrana. Now, thak, there's a word here, easily means tired. That's what we can understand it to be. When we read the next pankti, we'll understand that thak can also mean something else. Hanji.
Juga jugantar khahi khahe.
Juga jugantar. For ages, for all of the ages, jug antar. From Satyajug, the first age, from Treta, Dwapar, and Kaljug. For all of those ages, beings, people, they've just consumed and consumed over and over again. Juga jugantar khahi khahe. Just been constant consumption all the time. So now when we think about this, and we bring it back to the previous pankti, where we're saying that Maharaj is saying, Daydaa de lande thak paa-eh. We might think that at the moment we might get tired, or we might get tired consuming over and over the next few weeks or months. But actually, Maharaj is talking about ages, talking about years and years of time. Maharaj is actually saying that throughout our life, we're going to keep on getting to the point where we're getting close to our deathbed. We're going to die. We're going to thaka ho jana. Like, we're just going to get weary over and over. We're going to keep on consuming. We're going to die one day, but he's going to keep on giving. He's not going to stop giving. So thak here means that even until the point where we've died, he's going to keep on giving, and we're still going to be gone from this physical body, but he's going to still be there. I'll say that again. Paramatma is going to keep on giving even when this body's not here. And our Atma moves on to another being. Remember, Maharaj can take our jee, le, fir, dayh. He can take our jee, our Atma, and put it somewhere else. We're just going to be going in this cycle, going from one to another. And he's going to keep on providing for ages. Joga jumantar kahi kahe. This is the cycle. This is, in a way, Maharaj talking about that 84 lakh June. We're going to keep on going from one to another to another. Asi khai jana, thaki jana, mari jana. Asi khai jana, unhe dei jana. At what point do we break out of that cycle? At what point can we actually say, Paramatma, hun thak gaye asi, really thak gaye from going from one to another? How can we break out of that cycle? It's about being able to burn off and destroy our karam, our pichle karam, and being mukta from that cycle. Gur ka sabad kaatay kot karam. Eko naam hukam hai, Nanak Satgur diya bujhaye jiyo. It's through naam. It's through understanding Guru's Shabad. That through that Shabad, our pichle karam, all of our deeds that we may have committed in the past, be it bad murderous deeds, be it suffering deeds where we've made people suffer in our past lives or this life, be it the choriyan we may have done, be it whatever it may be it the millions of reincarnations we've gone through, Guru Sahib Ji will explain to us that treat that like a big bundle of hay. You wrap up a whole bundle of hay and you light up that hay with a fire. That fire will eradicate that bundle of hay. It'll just burn it all away. Think of that garam, that bundle of garam as that bundle of hay. Naam is that ignition. Naam is that fire. When we light that fire to that hay through Naam, sare pichle sare garam, they all get erased. They can all burn away. Gur ka sabad, kaate kot karam. That's how we can do it. So Sad Sangat Ji, this is how we can break out of this cycle of constantly consuming and being constantly given from Paramatma. Hanji.
Hukmi hukam chalaa-ay raho.
Hukmi hukam chalaa-ay raho. So here, Maharaj is in effect answering in this Pauri the question that was asked about in the very first Pauri. Give satyara hoye, give kuda tutte paal, hukam prajai chalana, Nanak likhya naam. That was the question, and Guru Sahib Ji answers it about hukam. And here they're coming back to that to say, Maharaj is saying hukmi,
Hukmi hukam chalaa-ay raho.
Hukmi hukam chalaa-ay raho. That through that hukam, that is the path that Paramatma has given us. Hukmi is the commander. Hukmi is Paramatma. Or that hukam, his instruction, his command, chalaa-ay raho. However he makes us walk on that path, that is his hukam. You might think, well, what is that path? How do we get onto that path? Well, this is our preordained destiny. This is how Paramatma has made all of us come into Sangat to be able to understand Gurbani and come onto the Guru Sahib Ji's path. And there's so many more people out there in our community, in Leeds, in Bradford, in the whole of the world, who are still yearning for this Sangat, still yearning for this path. And this is our Jange Karam, our great Karam, that we've been able to come and learn this. Now, coming to the Gurdwara Sahib and coming to Sangat is great. We can also learn this by going to other Gurdwara and other Sangat and listening to other Kathavachaks who are so much more greater. But the point is this, not about listening to myself or listening to any of us doing Kirtan or anything like this. The point is this, we're listening to Guru's Shabad. You can listen to Guru's Shabad in any Sangat, in any Gurdwara Sahib, applying that into our life. That is the path. That is the hukam of Paramatma. Like I said before, Maharaj hukam daste ne, eko naam hukam hai. Naam is the hukam. Let's join on to Naam. Let's experience Naam. And because through Naam is how we can get through this life together. Hanji.
Nanak vigasaye ve parvaho.
Guru Sahib Ji explains, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, Paramatma vigasaye ve parvaho. That Maharaj is carefree. This is his play. He will keep on doing this. Maharaj doesn't think, I'm going to be fair to him today and not fair to the other person. or however that might be. This is just his play. He is the one almighty Paramatma, universe, master of the universe, lord of the universe, the one who's created everything. He is Gobind. He is everything. He's Bhagavan. He's the divine. It's his Mauj, how he wants to make this work. Question is this: how are we going to react to that? Question is this: how are we going to be within that hukam? How are we going to actually live our life? What are the choices that we're going to make in the situations that we're landed in? Maharaj is carefree. They can take that body, they can take that Atma and put that Atma wherever they want. They can destroy whatever they want. Haram Bharan Jaka Netar for, like we said before, within a blink of an eye. They can create and destroy. That's his Mauj. That's Paramatma's choice. Appa ki karna. Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj write a beautiful shabad. Joji mere Govinda, Joji mere pyarya, Har Prabh mera Joji jiyo. Joji means playful. Joji mere Govinda, that master of the universe, he's playful. Ota odi marzi hai, he can play, he can do whatever he wants. Joji mere pyarya, my beloved, he's playful. Paramatma is playful. Question eh hunda hai ke, are we going to argue with him and then suffer in terms of we're going against his will and going against his choice? Or are we just going to say, Maharaj, thoda shukrana. Tusi dukh vi deta shukrana. Tusi bhukh vi deti shukrana. Tusi khaan peen nu sara kuch vi bakshiya, thoda shukrana. Maharaj, we just want to stay in Maharaj's charan. We just want to stay close to Guru Sahib so we can understand Guru Sahib Ji's logic and understanding, to be able to connect closer with Paramatma and not feel like we're struggling. The analogy here is that of a fish. If you've got a river and it's flowing in one direction, and you've got a fish fighting against the river and saying, actually, the river's going that way, but I want to go that way. The fish is going to try and fight with all of its energy and go in that direction. It's going to try its hardest, but the might of the river is going to keep it going in the other direction. The direction the river wants to go in, that's where the fish is going to go. But the fish is going to be constantly trying to fight and go the other way. It's in suffering. It's in pain. That fish's body is going to be exhausted, physically exhausted and mentally exhausted, because it's thinking it's greater than the river and it's going to try and go in the other direction. But that's not going to work. The river is so powerful, it's just going to keep it flowing. The fish is going to see all the other fish going in the direction of the flow of the river. And it might even question the other fish, saying, why are you going in the flow of the river? The other fish are going to be like, well, this is the power of the river. Just go with the flow. This is what it is. Just go with the flow. Wherever Paramatma takes us, just go with the flow. Why fight it? The more fighting that we do against it, the more we say, why me? Why this? Why that? The more we question it, the more we're going to suffer. Just like that fish. So this is why Maharaj is saying to us, Nanak, vigsay ve pravaho. He's carefree, he's untroubled, he's nirbhav, he's nirvair. Paramatma will do whatever they need to do. So Sadh Sangat Ji, this has taken us through, with Guru Sahib Ji's Kirpa, the third Pauri of Sri Japji Sahib Ji da Part. And hopefully through this Pauri we can understand that actually Guru Sahib Ji is just starting to teach us and show us that there is a path here. The question now becomes, are we going to be able to walk on this path? Shall we start to walk on this path together? Shall we actually start to understand this more closely and bring Vaheguru Ji closer to our hearts and actually acquire these godly attributes to help us get through life in a more calm, content way? Sadh Sangat Ji, doing today's Katha, there's no doubt, I know I've made so many mistakes. But with your asisa and your blessings and Guru Sahib Ji's Kirpa, that we can continue on this seva and continue on going through this journey of Sri Japji Sahib. Sadh Sangat Ji, I've said it before, it is truly a journey, because I learn these Pauriyan week in, week out, to be able to then share whatever I'm learning. So there's no way that my wisdom is any greater or less than anybody else's. We're all learning on this together. But Sadh Sangat Ji, only through Guru Sahib Ji's Kirpa and their grace can we learn this. And hopefully Maharaj Kirpa Karan, you'll all forgive me for the mistakes that I've made today. Let's go through the last 2 panktiyan of today's Pauri, and then next week Sad Sangat Ji will go into the 4th Pauri of Sri Japji Sahib Ji da Path.
Hukme hukam chalaa-ay raho, Nanak vigsai parvaho. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Please donate and help spread Guruji's message. Link is in the description below. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.